education to create sustainable conservation.
They started
solutions
without notice because the.
Currently, our efforts are focused in 8 conservation hubs across 6 continents to broaden our impact. And we're going to go into a few of these hubs today once we talk about our friends that we're going to be meeting in a little bit. And of course, conservation does start with trying to understand more about how our world works, because we can't protect what we don't understand. And we do know that this starts with the connections that we make between people and wildlife every day here at the zoo, which is why we're so excited to welcome you all here. And before we get started, I do gotta ask, who's excited to meet some wildlife?
Me.
That's what we love to hear. So, for our first friend, we're going to be heading all the way over to our Amazonia Conservation Hub, where San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance and our partners are working to conserve some really amazing wildlife, such as Andean bears, New World monkeys, orchids, and of course the habitats they all share. And there's a lot of feathered friends that also depend on the Amazon as well, including the beautiful, brightly colored macaw. So please put your eyes to the skies and welcome out our fully flighted flock of macaws. We don't know where they're going to be coming from, who's coming out first, but we're going to be patient. I think I hear them. They use their super loud squawks and screams to find each other throughout the Amazon rainforest. So there is Sierra and gold macaws. They are a mated, bonded pair. They will mate for life, and they do live in very large flocks as well. And then I think we're going to be having a heads up here in a minute and having some other friends come down and meet us from the top there. And we will point out another species of macaw. There are many different species of macaw with a variety of different colors throughout their feathers. And unfortunately, almost every species of macaw is endangered. Because of this, we are often asked how we can help to protect some beautiful birds like these scarlet macaws that are flying in. Sea yellow and soul are scarlet macaws. They do have that beautiful coloration. This is a bonded pair as well. They are pretty dang cute. But we're often asked how we can protect them in our everyday lives. And one way is actually by being a savvy consumer. So being aware of what we are purchasing at the grocery store. Looking for the FSC logo, which indicates that paper products are sourced sustainably. And then also looking for things like sustainable palm oil or even shade-grown coffee can help out wildlife all over the globe. Because you gotta put your money where your mouth is and really support companies who are trying their best to protect as many wildlife as we can. Because they are amazing, and of course, we're the reason that they are in such plight. So we want to make sure that now that we know better, we can do better. But let's give it up for our amazing macaws. They did a great job on out here. All right. So for our next friend, we are going to be meeting someone that we might be a little bit more familiar with. An animal that we might even see in our own backyard here in San Diego. We're going to be moving into our Southwest Conservation Hub, which is near and dear to all of our hearts here because, of course, it's in our own backyard. Here, San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance is working to conserve some really cool California wildlife, such as the western burrowing owl. We've got our desert tortoises, even the boojum tree, and our beloved Torrey pine here in San Diego. And our friend that we're going to be meeting right now is something that a lot of people like to endearingly call a trash panda. He's pretty cute and he's a pretty big deal here at Wegeforth Bowl. We are very excited to be able to share him with you. He is one of our newer ambassadors here, so he is gaining confidence out here on the presentation area. So we'll see how he does. But his name is Banjo, and he is a 5-year-old California raccoon. And he does have cute little mask, and he does have a very interesting mode of locomotion. I don't know, have everyone seen a raccoon before? Yeah, well, you might be able to notice as he does move, locomotion is very interesting. It's actually more similar to a bear or a weasel, and that's because they are their closest relatives. They are pretty special, and they are mainly crepuscular, so they are active during dawn and dusk, but they are very opportunistic. They can eat a variety of different things. They are omnivorous, so they kind of take what they can get. They're very impressive in the fact that they have learned how to live in very close proximity to humans, and we are a very difficult roommate to have because we make a lot of waste. We do a lot of things that degrade the ecosystem. And even still, the raccoon is a mesopredator that has learned to live among us and use our trash as treasure and raise their families and utilizing our waste, which is pretty amazing. Raccoons also move around their ecosystem and habitat in a very special way that's different than a lot of other animals. This is through utilizing a very special sense. The sense that they use the most is going to be their sense of touch, their tactile receptors in those paws. They do have opposable thumbs like we do, and this allows them to get into pretty much anything. They have very strong arms, very strong hands, and those touch receptors are extremely important to them as well. I'm sure all of you have seen a lot of videos of raccoons putting things and food into water, including cotton candy, things like that. And it's often thought that they are doing this because they want to be cleanly and wash their food, but in actuality they're putting things underwater, their hands specifically, so they can feel it, because it makes their sensory receptors on their hands a lot more sensitive. So putting things underwater helps them to find their way around the world. Kind of similar to how baby humans put a lot of things in their mouth to try and understand them. That's what a raccoon does with its hands. You might also notice that little mask around his eyes. That is allowing him to attract light to his eyes during that dawn and dusk time so he can see a little bit better. And they are pretty special in the fact that we don't have many other animals like raccoons in our world, so we're very lucky to be able to learn a little bit more about them. They're often seen as kind of scary and a little bit like our pests that we have in our backyard, but they do a lot of eating other pests like rodents and insects, as well as just learning and being so smart. I mean, there was a recent paper that was developed and published about how the evolution of raccoons in today's world is actually kind of evolving so that they can be more appealing to us. So raccoons are evolving to get cuter and cuter so that we will give them more of our table scraps. So that's pretty impressive that they're able to figure those things out about humans. And so it's always very special to be able to share a little bit more about them, because we want to, of course, understand the wildlife that we have in our own backyards, because not often do we sit and just stare at a raccoon for 5 minutes. So very lucky to be able to share Banjo with you all. Let's give it up for him. He did a great job. Yay. Banjo is a friend that came over from Project Wildlife. He was raised in someone's home, so he was unable to kind of gather all of the information needed in order to live on his own. And this is one thing that we don't really talk about when we often find wildlife that has been rehabilitated or taken into someone's home and then realize that they're a little bit too much to handle to live as a pet. So once he was raised in a home, he's unable to go back to his natural habitat. So we're very lucky that we're able to have a room for him here at Wegeforth Bowl, and to be able to share a little bit more about raccoons with you all here at our presentation. And we still got a few friends to meet, but I am going to be handing you off to my co-care specialist, Tony, for the rest of the presentation. So thanks, everybody.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Are we enjoying our presentation so far?
Wonderful.
All right. Well, the fun is not over yet. We are going to keep things moving right on along. And our next wildlife ambassador is going to represent our One Health approach to saving species all around the world. Now, the health of people, wildlife, and the environment are all interconnected, and our planet can only thrive when all life is thriving. That is the core of our mission and the thread that runs through all of our conservation efforts. And nobody fixes better than the canine. Now, canines have a long history with humans, and today they continue to have an important place in our lives as they become military animals, maybe serve in the law enforcement, or even become medical animals as well. Now, they are utilized for a superpower, which of course is their amazing sense of smell. Now, canines are able to smell 100,000 times stronger than our own. So to demonstrate this ability, we have hidden a scented item somewhere out here for our sniffer dog Elvis to find. Do you want to see him do this?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have to give him a hand because he loves a crowd. So let's make a lot of noise for the one, the only. It's Elvis.
Elvis.
He's coming for today. There he is. All right, so he's on the move. He's looking for a lemon scent. That's what he's. Oh, that was so good. I didn't even see that today. Good job, buddy. That was very quick. We can give it up for Elvis. That was a good one. Now we do this almost every single day, and we move it into all different places on our presentation area, and he is really good about finding it. So that was very quick today. Nicely done. Now, you might have noticed he found a stuffed koala that represents some of our conservation work that we have done in the past over in Australia. So if anybody remembers those big mega fires of 2019 and 2020, well, there was a koala sniffing dog named Smudge that went over there to help locate any injured koalas. And right here in our Southwest Conservation Hub, we have utilized a canine frog dog team, and it is made up of a group of 3 canines. One of the canines is a Chihuahua mix, which I just think is incredible. And they have helped locate the endangered mountain yellow-legged frog. So canines are giving us a hand in conservation. Now, a little bit about this guy. So if you do not know Elvis, he's a big deal around the zoo here. He is 9 years old. He's a half lab, half golden retriever. And before he came to live with us here at Wegeforth Bowl, he was training to be a guide dog. And we don't like to say he failed that program, but he did not pass that program. He is just way too food motivated to safely guide somebody, which is okay. So he actually has another role here at Wegeforth Bowl. He is a companion to our South African cheetah named Alunga. Would you all like to meet Alunga?
Of course.
All right, so she is going to be making her way on out here very shortly. Here she is. So Alunga here is a 9-year-old female South
Melissa
African
and Ellie
cheetah.
in the back.
Now I mentioned her and Elvis have been paired together since they were only a few months of age. So Alunga was born at our sister facility, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. She was the 150-night cheetah born over there. And unfortunately, she was the only surviving cub of her litter, and she was a good candidate to have a canine as a companion. Now, not every single cheetah will need a canine as a companion. It is definitely a case-by-case basis. And what the canine is going to do is they are going to play the role of a surrogate sibling. So all of those social cues and interactions they would learn from their litter mates, they are going to learn from their canine companion. So they learn how to play together, how to roughhouse, all of that stuff. And if you are coming into our stadium, we just ask you quickly find a seat so we can see if our cheetah can get nice and close. Thank you all. Now, they have been paired together, as I mentioned, since they were only a few months of age, and they pretty much do everything together except eat, because remember, Elvis is very food motivated, so he would steal all of her food and she would just let him. Now, cheetahs, they are known to be the fastest land mammal in the world. Does anybody know how fast a cheetah can run? You can shout it out. 70, 60, perfect, you guys are right on it. Anywhere between 60 to 70 miles per hour. Now they can go from 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds. It is quite incredible. Now, built for that speed, that is what cheetahs are known for. And technically, they are a big cat, but they are not part of that large cat family, and that's because they are just built entirely different than other cats. So I always like to point out some adaptations that the cheetah has. And the first one you might have noticed is that long, beautiful tail, right? They have a tail that is about half the length of their body. And what is interesting about the shape, it is almost in the shape of like a hockey stick. So it's not completely circular. It's a little bit flat on both sides. So that is going to allow her to steer her body either right or left direction when she is going those top speeds. Now, another interesting adaptation of the cheetah are their claws. So their claws are out all the time. They are called semi-retractable claws. So if you were thinking of other cats, maybe like your house cat, a lion, they're able to retract those claws in, keep them nice and sharp. Cheetahs actually can't do that. Those claws are going to be hanging out all the time for traction. They're almost like an athlete's cleat. That's what we like to refer them to. Now, along with that, they have a really long, lean body, a very small aerodynamic head that helps them with those top speeds as well. Now, they are going to be daytime hunters. They hunt during the daytime to avoid conflict with other predators, since they are more of a flight cat versus a fight cat. And if you're ever not sure about what type of cat you are looking at around the zoo, you can just look at their face. So cheetahs have 2 black stripes that go from the inner corners of their eyelids down to their mouth. Those are called malar stripes, and it is thought that they have that there to help with the reflection of the sun. Now, cheetah numbers have declined drastically. About 100 years ago, we had around 100,000 cheetahs. Today, we have less than 7,000. Now, they are facing a lot of hardships, such as habitat loss, and human-wildlife conflict. So just some ways you are able to support cheetahs is just by coming to the zoo, exactly what you all are doing today. You can help educate other people about their conservation and hopefully give them another cool cheetah fact that you just learned today. And with that, it looks like our dynamic duo is going to head on back. We can give it up for Elvis and Alunga. They did a great job out here. All right, everyone. Well, here at the San Diego Zoo, we are creating a world where all life thrives through collaboration, innovation, and inspiration. Now, conservation is at the heart of everything we do, but we, of course, can't do it alone. We need dedicated allies like all of you. So you can join us here at the San Diego Zoo by becoming a member. You can volunteer your time or your knowledge, or you can even partner with us with some of our larger conservation projects. Your help can never be understated because when wildlife thrives, all life thrives. Thank you all so much for coming out and hanging out with us here at Wegeforth Bowl. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.